Hello, guys. Welcome to Bars and Joysticks. I am Michael Seuss with
William Zillions.
Where Hip Hop Media Meets Gaming, and we, being the innovators of merge culture, have a very, very special conversation with myself and Zellians today. I think this is the first time we're doing an actual video with just me and you.
Just me and you.
Long time coming.
Mm-hmm. You know, right now is an interesting time with 2020, COVID sort of shutting down everything and sort of putting a hold on all of the things that we were waiting and anticipating for. A huge drop, a huge recent release in the realm of comics, in the realm of nerddom. We finally got the first issue of The Last Ronin, which is clearly one of the most highly anticipated titles of the year for many reasons. But for me, as a fan of the Ninja Turtles, this is the first project where we're seeing Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. And finally, we get them back in the pages where we need them. And right behind me, you can see both Seuss and I woke up early on the morning of the 28th of October and got our copies. I think Seuss got a better variant version than me. But I'm still
I got extremely lucky, man. I got lucky.
That shit is I think most of us did. The ones who woke up early were fortunate enough to A, have life that day, and B, put their asses in line to grab The Last Ronin. We have, I don't know, bro. We had the first 5 pages released to us, like 5 months prior to the release of the comic?
Yeah, but I didn't read that because I wanted it all to be fresh at once.
Fresh.
I'm the type of person that I get stir crazy when I'm waiting for stuff like that. So I definitely didn't look. I wanted to wait, and it was definitely worth the wait. I think I was put on the latest out of all of us that The Last Ronin was coming out. I think you and Paco, like, you had said something in a meeting. Yeah. And then Paco was like, yeah, I heard of that. And then he sent me the video from, I think, Comics Explained or Comic Variant. Yeah. And then I went ahead and checked into it. And then I started really kind of going into it. Man, just the first panel sets the stage, I felt like, beautifully. And it was a swerve on top of it. So I already knew that they were coming out for blood. Like, I felt like there was a lot of frustration in those panels. Not just the tone of the story, but you could tell that they used their frustration with how the media has been going for years. They were kind of like, okay, this is how you need to write these characters.
I could not agree with you more. Thinking about the first, like I said, the first 5 pages. So I couldn't wait. I didn't wait. As soon as I saw that shit, I was like, yo, what you mean, son? What you mean we going into the future from the originative creatives on this? What do you mean we're about to finally see where this all goes? What do you mean we're about to finally get some resolve as fans? What do you mean I'm not going to read these first 5 pages? So I ended up finding them. I found them and I'm like, all right, bet. So going into how the story started, the elements that I love, I guess we can, what is this, a spoiler conversation? We just get into it?
Oh, nah, bro. It's all on the table, man. Click at your own risk, for sure.
All right, spoiler alert. This is where we about to get into the meat and potatoes of this shit. Elements I love from the very beginning. The tone of it.
I thought you were going to talk about the April O'Neil reveal.
No. I ain't going to get into that yet. Because I ain't get that shit until like the second to last page. So I ain't going to get these motherfuckers that shit. So far, I've read the comic twice since my purchasing it. And the first time I read it on my own, as soon as I got home from the store, I grabbed a nice little cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying, had myself a little brunch, you know what I'm saying, and just scrub through the pages, just so I can get a feel. But that second time I read it out loud, and I don't know, I guess I was on my voiceover shit, just sort of like trying to embrace the characters. I love the Turtles, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is I grew up with having dreams about being one of the brothers. Like, this is my whole life they've always been included in it. So there's parts of this comic that literally almost brought tears to my eyes. because of the depth of how much I understood was at risk. So the first 5 pages, you know what I'm saying? You see fucking a full 2-page spread of what is now Manhattan and what is and is completely barricaded by this like massive Donald Trump wall times infinity Foot Clan wall barricade. And I'm like, holy shit, whoever the last Ronin is, the last of the brothers, whoever this individual is, has to, the mission is to get into this city. And how they open it up with the only way to get into the city is to swim. But the water is so polluted, it's black, it's sludgy. There's no way a human could survive. Luckily, I'm no human. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's just the severity of the situation was felt so truly within like 2-3 panels of the first page.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And then we finally get through the sludge. We get out of the sludge. While all of this is happening, we're still getting dialogue from all 4 brothers with only one on this. There's only one on the screen.
And I'm so glad you got to that. Okay, this is where I'm gonna chime in, bro, because this was one of, in my opinion, and I could kind of tell that I felt like, I personally felt like, being in a lot of Facebook groups, all this stuff, and seeing a lot of people speak about this, I felt like this was a point that everybody missed. All of their personalities were definitely fucking captured in each of those bubbles. If you're a fan, if you're a fan, you should be able to tell who the last Ronin is by the 4th page. And I knew who it was, and I was like, good, it was who I wanted it to be. Do you want to wait a little bit to reveal who it is, or do you want to or can we just talk about it now since we're already
we could talk about shit freely, I feel like, because at the end of the day, we can talk about shit freely.
All right, perfect. It definitely was Michelangelo, and those in that first half, definitely you could see like he was gone, bro. It wasn't he didn't give a fuck no more. Like he was like, they even made that very clear when he was like, oh, you know, I need a distraction, and they were like, oh, you know, what are you supposed to do, like, you can't do this and you can't do that, and he's like, it's almost on some type shit like, yo, I don't think y'all realize how far I'm willing to go to get this revenge. I'm gonna kill this nigga. Like, and then he just took a flying car and fucking ran it into a bus and blew up the whole fucking block.
And then somebody's bike, it did the most. Like,
bro, that wasn't even the first fucking, that wasn't even halfway through. People have to read this. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was almost like you were dealing with like a more fucked up rap. And that was why, like, I don't understand why people would have wanted Donnie. Like, also, they already did a story with Donnie like this, where the rest of them got killed. And he wound up beating Shredder by himself. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, it was a what if Elseworlds type of story, but they still did that with Donnie. Like, people gotta look. All of them have had their moments. Really, except Michelangelo. So again, like, it was his time. And you can definitely tell the creators are the ones who are fucking with this, bro. It's everywhere. Like, I don't even know if you definitely, I think you of all people would have realized this, man. They had like the original color palette. Like, I felt like I was dealing with like almost what they were doing with the fucking arcade games. Like that first arcade game.
I understand
like
what you're
saying. The color palette with the Ninja Turtles is one of the first fucking like IP that was so colorful and vibrant. I think that was what brought children to it, and that was why when they came to Eastman and Laird and Laird, or Laird, I don't know Laird. I'm so sorry, sir. Laird, okay, Laird. Peter Laird, bro. They were just like, yeah, this would be way more, way more lucrative for kids, and we'll cut you the check. And they were like, you know what, this kind of makes sense here.
Yeah, I mean, it probably does for their life, for real.
At that time, bro, at the time that came out, when did the original series come out? Didn't it come
87.
out in the 80s?
'87, the first cartoon.
Yeah, it
drop.
came out in '87, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're talking about Ninja Turtles got greenlit a fucking show before Batman did.
Yeah.
Like people gotta keep
Respect
that.
on
And
name. Yeah. Put respect on
yeah,
my sons.
yeah, like is people look at Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers and don't understand the IP. And I'm only bringing up Power Rangers too because
It's
of
necessary.
that crossover.
Uh-huh.
Go check that out. Everybody, by the way. Ninja Turtles as an IP is so dark. It's fucking ridiculous. Power Rangers as well. If I actually get both of the comics,
Oh, I have this one. I have this
Oh,
variant.
Bro, that looks fucking beautiful. Like, why would you just be like, oh, this is for kids type stuff? Like, read that comic book if you think that this is for kids.
I think it's this. This is where they didn't drop the ball, and like we'll get back into the explanation of the panels in a second, but this conversation's going somewhere. I feel like the point of Ninja Turtles from the very beginning, much like cartoons in general, is to be able to flip toys off of them. So
Absolutely.
The reason why TMNT is so fucking successful, and I'll also inclusive of that is the Power Rangers, is because their toys were so fucking groundbreaking. Their toy lines were so fucking groundbreaking.
Oh yeah, Ninja Turtles more so than Power Rangers. I feel like Ninja Turtles as toys
for sure. Ninja Turtles set the trend.
Biggest fucking thing for years,
bro. I talked about that shit before, man.
Yeah,
they did that shit right after Ninja Turtles came out. You had fucking Street Sharks, fucking who else came after them? You had Biker Mice from Mars, Battletoads. You know what I'm saying? You had hella cartoons that came out and tried to recapture the magic of the Ninja Turtles. And to some degree, they did their own things and were successful in those rights. But to be 100, like, they had,
it's not even
it just didn't get there. Whatever it was, whatever the case, it didn't go. That's it. Whatever the case, it didn't go. So at the end of the day, Ninja Turtles is still here, still as strong as, like, Ninja Turtles dropped even before, like, didn't the Ninja Turtles come out before The Simpsons? Or am I bugging?
Yeah. Wait, if you said 87, yeah, because Simpsons, I think either came out in 88 or 89, yeah. And the thing is, that's what people gotta understand, man. If we're talking, especially if we're talking about something that actually became streamlined for kids.
Damn, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, 88 or 89, yeah. So here's the thing, and this is what people gotta understand. The only IP ever in the history of ever that kids are able to get on generational, like TMNT, is Pokemon. That is it. That is it. Even Power Rangers doesn't have the popularity that it had 9.3, 9.5.
Would you say, is this crazy? Would you say inclusive of that is Star Wars?
The only reason why I know is because we gotta look at their main fan base, even though it's
not
the
kids.
thing that
I
Star
got
Wars,
you.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their toys
so for
are
kids,
even collected by adults. Like I've seen
specifically targeted at.
Yeah.
Specifically targeted at. I got you.
Yeah. Their toys may do fucking phenomenal with kids, but just as much as there are kids with those toys, there's an adult that has a fucking box of Luke Skywalker over his bed. Like it's Star Wars, I feel like it has the highest adult collectible rate. I might be wrong, but I would be willing to actually like put money on that. I would have to look into it, but I actually think that, and I think like TMNT, man. Those were the toys that you'd be like fucking what, 4 years old, and you go to the playground, bring the show and tell type shit, and you're like, oh, which one does that one do? Like, which one does that do?
Because they did, for a fact. That's a great point. They did in fact all do different things. Like you could have your standard turtle, you could have the turtle where you could open up the back shell and switch the head out, switch the feet out for like regular turtle parts, and then you have like a regular turtle. You had the Jones where it was just the head. No, that was a Power Ranger toy. That was a Power Ranger toy. My bad. But they
Nah,
got
they
that
had one. They
concept.
had one of Ninja Turtles too, like with all the shit inside.
Yeah, inside. There's like switch that shit out and shit. Come back.
They had one on all four, bro. They had one on all four. Yeah.
Then they had all of the. You had the turtle van. You feel me? You had Mikey's sewer board. You had you had the blimp jet shit that the van like morphed into. You had like you know what I'm saying, like they had every single aspect of the show covered in toy form.
Bro, yes. And you know, shouts out to my parents and my family, because now it's funny because I know for a fact I had all of that. So shouts out to my fucking family for actually going to the store and buying me all that shit.
Word, making dreams come true and shit.
It must have been a small fortune.
Word.
Now being an adult and having a kid and knowing how much this shit costs. So
holy shit.
I really feel like 80s and 90s babies had the best childhoods, man. Like, shouts out to all those older parents, man, that never got their fucking trust.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think Turtles is the first toys that actually brought out minis. Like, you remember them shits? Remember they would have like the huge ass thing, and then they would have like the minis and stuff like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then everybody started jocking that wave. Like, they literally had probably damn near over 150 iterations of just one toy. And it was so dope that when they came out with the 03 one, I was looking at them as a teenager and being like, yo, they're literally taking the molds and adjusting them and putting out the same shit, but with a new design.
It's a fact. That's what that.
And I remember I had to go for like my little cousin's like party one time, and I was getting him a Ninja Turtle. And I was like, didn't I have the same one but with the bulkier turtles? And he's like, Michael, that's the whole thing.
They had the giant jaws.
Yeah.
I remember exactly what you talked about.
That's what I'm saying. And they were just releasing the costumes and shit. He was like, yo, all they do is they take the molds. They take the original molds, and then they go ahead and they modify them, and then they just fucking reprint them.
I know I had to scoop the footage because in the comic store I was in, boom.
Oh,
feel me? In the store I was in, boom, they had all of them. And you were just talking about how they flip the toys. This is the original version, and this is based off of one of the recent cartoons.
Bro. Like, it was so fast. Like, I didn't even peep that.
We find out the villain of this fucking whole ordeal is Shredder's grandson.
I thought it was a bit of a mismatch for him being the main villain of a story like this. I didn't want shit coward villain. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted some yo, I'm cutting your head off first quarter. Yeah. Oh, you making me look like an idiot? Nah, I gotta cut your head off but you know what? It does, it makes it interesting to be like, what did he do to kill all of them if he's this much of a pussy? How did he do it? Because Shredder will always, he would have a plan,
well, I think
he was going to pull up regardless of that plan. And he had and even if Shredder was on some hoe type shit, he still had no problem pulling up and kicking the shit into them multiple times. Beating them more times than he would lose if it came down to hands, and taking all four of them at once. So Shredder got his stripes as a villain either which way. But this dude's out here running, bro. That nigga's running?
I would say Shredder.
I personally didn't like that, I'm gonna be honest with you. And then him hugging his mom and shit. That was interesting. The cryogenically frozen shit. I thought that was a good aspect, but that made me not like it. It made me like it. Go ahead.
That was character development in like 2-3 panels.
Exactly. That was what I was gonna get into. Like, that part made me dislike him as a villain for sure, but I felt like it still only aided onto the fact that, damn, like, him being like this kind of a little underwhelming for me. Like, it wasn't like, I don't want anybody to take this by the way as I'm trying to pick this apart, and I didn't fuck with it at all. I just want to make it very clear. I wanted blood for the main villain. You know what I'm saying? I'm shivering my boots. I'm hiding under the bed. It makes me feel like he got lucky. It makes me feel more sorry for him than me hating him. I pity him. I don't hate him. He killed off the turtles. I want to hate him. You get what I'm saying? But I don't know.
Like he was always commanding like the next round of villains. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm.
I think that goes. I think though, it shows me that like he either has like some crazy shit in the tuck still, like some like next top tier like deep dark. This motherfucker is a henchman who only sees daylight when he comes out to kill motherfuckers type. I could see him calling something like that out on the situation. Or I'm wondering if he has a Krang. I'm wondering if he has a Krang in the back. Because we only saw him in issue 1, him reacting. So how he was reacting, how he was panicking, you feel me? Almost panicking, because Mikey definitely almost got up to the top tower. You feel me? He almost was there, right?
Wait, so, didn't he get out and didn't he get there and then they kicked him all the way down?
Yeah, and that's what happened. So, but he almost made it up to the joint, and you saw him panicking. I don't think he was panicking for his life specifically. I think he was panicking because he has a bigger boss that he didn't want to piss off. I think that's where this story could develop. That there might be a Krang for young Hama.
It might be Krang,
huh?
It might be.
It might actually be Krang, son. That's crazier. You feel me? Yeah. If Krang was still over his head on some Dimension X type shit, fam, that's fucking.
When it got up to the heaven scene, I fucking started to tear up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, so that's how they're gonna fucking end it. They're gonna fucking rip our hearts out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it said, oh, to be continued for issue 2, and I was like, wait, okay, thank God. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, and then that was with the big April reveal, which I will be 100% honest that. And I don't know why it took me by surprise, but I just didn't think she was going to be in there at all. Even though I'm pretty sure I shouldn't be, because they introduced her daughter. And let's keep it a buck. We know that's her daughter now, because the one girl in the purple in the beginning, that's last name is Jones, is definitely Casey's daughter.
That's a fact.
We already
knew that,
fact. Even though they,
that's a fact. Like, come on, son.
You know, April was at the end and shit, and he's like, April, I haven't seen you and or whatever the fuck.
April,
is
that really
Mikey,
you?
Nice to meet you too, Michelangelo.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like her look is so like it hasn't even been that long, and she looks so aged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's been only 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's pollution and shit. I'm actually really glad that they did that, because I haven't been feeling any portrayal of April O'Neil since the beginning. I'm be honest, like
the beginning animation or the beginning live action.
Well, all of it. All of it really. And just to clarify, those first 2 movies, guys. That third one, when they were going to Japan at the time, I as a kid I loved it, but it didn't age well. Nah. It was good. It was some 90s shit though. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it made sense at the time. Like, okay, we can't get any of the actors that we had for the other movies. So let's just do something off the wall so we can do a third one. You know what I mean?
You know what I think is crazy though? Because to be honest, all of these actors are still out here. You know what I'm saying? Like Judith, what's her name? Judith, who played the first April O'Neil in the live action.
She's still alive?
Hoag, yeah. Judith Hoag or Hoag. I don't want to.
Yeah, you can pull her up.
Yeah, I got you. Copy, cool. I got you, Brody.
You know
the hottest, the most battiest of April O'Neil's to me, because I feel like she was spicy, son.
She was
She got fired and rehired in the same movie.
They had it on Netflix. I don't know if you peeped it when it was on Netflix a couple months ago. Like, I watched both of those 2 back to back, and it fucking aged like fine wine.
Yeah. Part 1 and Part 2. Actually, I prefer Part 1, the original movie, only because they actually used their weapons in that movie.
They was like fighting.
Part 1 was fighting. Part 1 was official. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, April got her house burnt down. One of her houses burnt down. Her boss's son was some. Wait, that was Part 1.
That was the second one.
That was the second one? Nah, the first one was her boss's son. He was a thief. Yeah, the second one's Keno, Ernie Reyes Jr. Yeah, Ernie Reyes Jr. son, ARJ son. He been a man for a minute.
To be honest, that man is an animal. Y'all better see, what was it? The one he did with The Rock when he was just taking it to him.
Yo, you talking about The Rundown?
Yeah, bro.
Did you know?
Did
you know that he was the body double? Like he was the actual body actor for Donatello in the first movie?
Yeah, he's super underrated. As
like
a
he was legitimately Donatello, bro. He himself was so raw. That's not him. Sorry. He himself was so raw. He got like casted in a role in it as his own character. And Keno was like, I think Keno was probably one of the better parts of that movie.
Even Jim Henson made the suits, and we're talking like Muppet Man.
OG,
yeah,
OG,
you know what I'm saying. And so that was one of the last things he did, and I felt like he put such detail. Those suits worked so well, being in a time where there were no special effects like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think like this, like that's why they called that, man. Like those suits did so well in the middle of New York that people were able to sit for almost a 2-hour movie, and the suspense of belief.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that alone, and that shit dropped in 90.
The best way to do movie graphics back then was the practical route to make it believable. Because even if you look at movies that were like otherworldly, you know what I'm saying, and they like had these huge landscapes and shit like that. For Star Wars, for example, those were just matte paintings. Like actual artists came in and painted on large canvases these super high detailed matte paintings, tangible things, tangible effects. That's why the success of Star Wars is still so impactful to what big Hollywood blockbusters is to people.
And I think they need to bring that back when they reboot this, like, and I think people need to look, even though I feel they're overrated, they need to look at the Nolan films, the Nolan Batman films, because they were all practical effects. You know, the two creators, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. The two of them really being a part of this. I hope that they get more. I hope that this opens a door for them to be more involved with things, and they go the direction that things were going in before, and they're like, yo, why don't we take it back a little bit to where we had this?
Bro,
things are better
I agree.
now. You know what I'm saying?
Like, for sure. Yeah. And it should be supplemental. Like, I think I'm not here to shit on CGI. I'm not here to shit on, fully CGI characters entirely. I think some of them have been done really well. For like Thanos, for example, was done really well, right? But I'm not so much a big fan of the full CGI of Spider-Man. So when I think about what the new TMNT movie could be, like I would love a TMNT television series on HBO Max. I would settle for for Netflix, but I would really want HBO Max because I understand HBO shit is just overall more edgy. Quality that they should absolutely focus on is A, that they are teenagers, and B, that they are ninja. And I need to see more action sequences that speak to that. Because in the last Michael Bay movies, like there was not anything very like ninjutsu-ish about their form. There was nothing that was very like as far as the actual form of the martial art itself, there wasn't too much of that action going on in that movie. There wasn't very much stealthiness happening either.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? There wasn't very much
wasn't
very much like any of the elements of what we know ninja to be. We not seeing that from these movies. And we not seeing that even from a young ninja perspective. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like where they're still learning,
and
but they're not.
You know what though? It's crazy that you mentioned that, man. And the only reason, and bro, I'm only cutting in because you brought up the teenage part. That is the biggest thing they have always fucked up on when they've taken the IP. They feel like adults.
Big, right?
Like not every time, but about what I would say like 80% of the time. Even in the Fox one, I felt like, well, no. In the beginning, yes, but when it went on, it didn't feel like I was still watching TV. It felt like I was watching.
Yeah. All right, this is what I think the masterpiece would look like for me. Okay, tone-wise, I'm thinking Stranger Things meets meets Daredevil. I'm thinking Stranger Things
Okay,
meets
that's
Daredevil.
perfect. Yo, Netflix, you gotta write this down.
You gotta write this down, homies. We're just here to help you out. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Fucking,
That was perfect. Like I actually I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, like Stranger Things
You
meets
about this
Daredevil.
before having you.
Bro, I've been dreaming of watching the perfect Ninja Turtle experience for a very long time.
Bringing it back to the last Ronin, bro.
Yeah.
I want more curveballs. I fuck with that.
Yeah.
I don't want cop outs. I don't want Casey died doing a mission. Like how many times have we seen some shit like that? I don't want that.
I feel that.
I don't want that.
So what do you think? Where do you think it's going then? Like, what's your prediction on?
I straight up don't have one. I straight up do not have one. And I'm not, bro. I'm always able to look at the bigger picture.
Yo, nah,
I don't have
that
one
shit
because
is too crazy.
this is people don't when they read it, they're gonna understand this was done so beautifully from fucking page one. Because bro, the fucking fifth to sixth page was a fucking curveball with it's not completely dystopian. All that, bro, that's just New York. And that's the outside of Manhattan. Like you said. Yeah, literally.
The high gloss panels.
Yeah, man.
And I'll try to see.
That looks like to me like nothing fucking happened except you got flying cars.
Yeah, that's it. Otherwise, they're pretty much the same.
So that was one of the biggest
infrastructure.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh, you know what I thought was interesting too, bro?
Wow.
I'm wondering how they're getting these motherfuckers collected. The whole cyborg police officers thing. Because at first he's like, yo, are these shits robots? And then he bust that shit open and it was like a human inside. And he was like, probably more machine than human. Oh, I can see it now. I can see it all happening now. I think that Casey Jones was captured by Shredder's grandson.
Yeah.
And repurposed, like got like all dismembered and shit, and got re-put back together as one of his top generals. Cause you see how he was talking on the phone to his general over and over and over again. And he was like, oh, I'm disappointed. Like, how are you here? Like, why are you here when you're so empty-handed? What if that's Casey Jones? And he got like taken on some like Batman Darkseid shit and like got his mind warped. And then he's like now like one of the biggest enemies of the Ninja Turtles, like and it maybe like in the city.
Yeah.
I could see that going there maybe.
Yo, that honestly dope.
See that.
Definitely the general or somebody important. That scene where he was gonna kill himself with Leo's sword, with Leo's broken sword.
He was gonna take his like straight samurai style, like straight to the fucking Like damn, fam, that was so dark. And then even up to that moment, there was still no complete confirmation on who the last Ronin was, because all four sashes were laid out in front of him. It was like a full ritual, and you can just feel the weight of it. You know, him gushing out blood, his whole body. When he said, "I feel like everything's broken," the only thing that was pushing him was adrenaline at this point. He's in this sewer and he said like, yo, this is it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I did not mean to fail you, Father. I'm sorry. I miss you. I miss my brothers. I miss my father. Like, and then like his brothers are still in his head, like, bro, you don't have to do this. And he's like, shut up. It's enough of that. It's not time for that anymore. Everything he just conjured up, everything that he just like, energy is everything. You know what I'm saying? So if you're thinking about it, like in that moment, he collected every bit of them in front of him and was about to, you know, give his life's energy to that situation. So when waking up in that dream, I'm like, damn, he's around his brothers, like, and it's as clear as day and everything is golden. Like the whole tone, the whole like, colorscape of it all just changed. Like, this is like the best parts of everything. He woke up in the bed all beat up and shit. But they were like, hey, bro, like, it's good to see you made it. Welcome back type shit.
They didn't know nobody had their masks on anything.
Nobody. And you still couldn't really...
Couldn't even differentiate who was who.
it was so many mind fucks as a reader, as somebody who is looking for some sort of identification, somebody who's still only 2 pages away from that conclusion of this book, still not knowing who the Ronin is. And then we're gonna fucking have this dream state current day flashback situation where you're still not gonna identify any of the turtles in that space. You're not trying to give us anything until the last page. Oh, you motherfuckers, you know what I want.
They first started doing Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. Everybody had a red bandana. They were only distinguishable by the dialogue and by their weapons.
Yeah.
They also looked the same. There wasn't any shade, tonal differences in the skin. All that, sizes, all that shit is newer rather than past shit.
Developed.
So I felt that was also a nod to that first run where they all looked the same. And they all had one fucking type of fucking bandana.
The thing that I think what you're feeling and what I'm feeling about the weight of the not knowing what the fuck to expect aspect of it, like a part 2 and onward, I think we're getting that feeling because we got so much in part 1. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And what we're getting and like it's still digesting. Like I still want to go back and read part 1 again because every time I read it, there's something else, detail I pick up from it.
And it's gonna start obviously with that conversation between April and Mikey, and we obviously know that at some point she had a kid with Casey. And again, we know that because they only called the girl by her last name.
Yeah, Joneses.
And it was very obvious. Okay, this is Casey's daughter. And it was when she was like, "Oh, really? It's a mutant turtle type shit." So she obviously grew up fucking hearing the stories of them and shit like that. I'm pretty sure though, whatever happened, she was born after.
Yeah.
Because she looked like she never saw them before.
Yeah.
So her mother probably gave her all those stories, and possibly her dad, whatever.
Yeah.
So actually, you know what? Maybe Casey is alive.
Maybe. I think he's a villain.
Maybe based on that.
I think he's a villain. You could tell she's been through a lot. She survived a lot, which is typical. Like it's typical of April. Like I think April O'Neil's like real girl power. Like was like one of the first real like female characters that I was exposed to that wasn't never on some like corny shit. You know what I'm saying? She was dominant in her industry. She was a news reporter that was always after the story. She was always after the scoop and always was the first one to do it and apply pressure in times when like even her life was at risk to do so. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, she was an archetype for all those fucking types of newscasters, strong female leads, bro. She had a sexy look with having a full fucking clothed jumpsuit. She didn't show no fucking type of cleavage or none of that. The zipper was a slight tease, but it was never on some type shit. It was never on some V-neck shit. No. That shit you couldn't even fucking see.
It wasn't sexualized. It wasn't sexualized at all. Overall, man, I think The Last Ronin is definitely, well, at least part 1 was the most solid way they could have set up this 5-parter. I don't really know at all what's about to happen next. Off of the reveal, obviously April O'Neil and this next one is about to it seemed like they haven't seen each other in a really long time. You know what I'm saying? So a lot has happened. So I'm interested in finding out where Mikey's been all of this time, why he wasn't even in New York City, what it seems like if he's getting back into Manhattan now, and what has happened to April O'Neil during this time, if for a fact they are more concerned with people getting out than in. So has she been trapped in this barricaded Manhattan for this whole entire time? Where is Casey Jones? Is Casey Jones a villain or is he dead? I think those are the only 2 options in this situation for me personally. But as you said before, I think having him be dead is a missed opportunity for them to include a very strong character in this story. And I think with their emphasis on the cyborg element,
too predictable.
I think that I think he might be a big time cyborg top henchman for Shredder's grandson. That's my only prediction, I think, and that I could surmise from what I've read so far. And I wonder if there's like some super hyper paced healing method that takes place in the future that's gonna help my boy Mikey to heal up in say like a week versus like many years.
Oh yeah, nah.
Or do they have a healing factor? I never knew that to be a thing.
I always thought they did.
I don't know if they have a healing factor or not. I don't know
not
specifically.
On some Wolverine
not
shit,
on some Wolverine shit, but they heal faster than humans.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that was always kind of implied.
That's interesting. Well,
and I think even in the movie it was because fucking Raph was in a coma.
Oh yeah, he got
when
his
Leo wouldn't leave and shit. Yeah, he was in a coma, and Leo ain't leave.
If they did fight scenes like the fight scene on the roof with Raph and the rest of the Foot Clan, if they did stuff like that in a remake, bro, oh my god, because that's honestly one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in all of TMNT-dom, bro. It might have been like a 15-second sequence where they never cut away, and Raph like bounced off the wall, came back. He did like a roundhouse on one buddy. He like took out like the first 7 and then was like, how the fuck y'all gonna beat me? And then like 30 more of them jumped him. Scene right here, boom, 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 boom. Like that scene, like this scene is the craziest.
Yeah.
Off the wall, boom, back, boom. Come on, son, my man's is on it.
He always lets his guard down to talk shit. That's his problem.
Yeah, that's true. He should have just kept rolling on him. If they are able to capture the magic of that style of like one shot fight sequences where like maybe you only do like 1 or 2 cuts to, you know what I'm saying? Like, let us feel the impact of every blow. Let us feel the energy that's generating from the leg of each fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see those details, and that's why I really was like, yo, Stranger Things meets Daredevil. I think that would be so fire. I get the retro vibes. I get the awesome music. I get the really cool, young youthful group story with the Daredevil aspect of it. You get that up close, gritty, dark. You feel the risk of life here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see that there is risk. I want to see that the tone of realism is abundant. Really, that would be it for me. I think with The Last Ronin, it's setting a tone for, and what it's getting modern day fans ready for, is a live action iteration, and maybe some really cool animated iterations coming, like the Seth Rogen one, that will have the elements that we've been missing from the ones of the past.
I hope so, man, because they were on the right path for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? And even and this is the biggest thing too, man. I can't wait for Hollywood to remember that you can make your shit for kids and sell toys and make real shit too. Why not do both, bro? Yeah. That's the biggest thing. You're gonna make more money if you do both. Okay, so I know that we hit a lot of topics in this video, and absolutely be clear on one thing: we are covering all 5 issues. As we have always said at Bars and Joysticks, your opinion matters to us above almost everything else. Definitely leave a like. Definitely leave a comment and let us know what you're thinking. Definitely, we are always up for the debate or discussion. Let us know what you're thinking. Our socials are definitely also in the description. Follow everything to keep the date with all of your Bars and Joysticks news. I am Michael Seuss.
I'm William Zillions.
And this is Bars and Joysticks, where hip-hop media meets gaming, the innovators of merge culture. Have a great day.
I believe you see what the fuck you You ain't no one property. Vibrate higher, don't you mute your colors of nobody. Nobody say you nothing, fuck out of here, go for your win, no need for you to slow up. Well, none of these nobodies. So sub to your dreams and go up.